Hello everybody, this is a Doctor, and with me today is Typical Manga Fan, and in this video we're going to be reviewing One Piece Chapter 774, Leo, Warrior Chief of the Tontata Tribe. And we start off with Jinbei and... forget his name again here, what was his name? Well basically like the little sea giant there. Jinbei telling him, you done goofed.
Yeah, he is very childish. You could tell right now. He's
Yeah.
crying and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." He does the thing with the finger that a lot of kids do.
Yeah,
I
like the slightly little effect of the tears like going into the water, like they aren't going down because they're underwater at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that it came across Oda's mind, like, he's underwater. I should probably do this to make sure that no one, questions what the physics behind this.
Well, this is One Piece. How much physics are we going to question?
The basic ones.
Yeah.
Gravities,
Actually,
gravity, all that stuff.
You know what? This kind of reminds me of something just a little off top before we get started in the chapter proper. All this stuff that happens in One Piece, all the crazy, weird physics and weird things that happen here. You want to know the one thing that I really came to question when it came around?
What?
The 20-month pregnancy. All of this, and that's the thing that makes me think about it. That's the one that breaks the immersion. Because most of the time you can just enjoy the ride and not worry about it. Anyway.
Well, the reason why is it's similar to like the Absolute Zero thing with Bleach, is that unlike everything else, where they kind of just explain it by their own physics, by saying, oh, it's not because of physics or because, blah, 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 it's because devil fruit power or because of magic. And that's why.
It's sheer willpower. I think
part of it is also science. That's the problem.
I think part of it is also because like pregnancy and childbirth are so linked to reality, more so than most of the stuff in the series, that it kind of makes you think about it more.
That's what I was getting. Like Absolute Zero, which is it's a scientific term.
Oh yeah, you and Rookie. I remember you had a big old thing about that.
Yeah, I was upset. I might make a whole video for that just because of that. I was so upset about that.
Anyway.
The issue is that the problem with the pregnancy is that it's so relatable to real life. Yeah. That you just think back to it and you're like, okay, yeah, that kind of does puts me back into the real world thing. Whereas with Devil Fruits, it's like, well, that the whole thing is just One Piece, so I can take that. The fact that there's a giant, is One Piece. The fact that this was a walking fishman or swing around, who can make like whirlwinds is One Piece.
Yes.
But when it comes down to pregnancies, then that's where
we draw the line.
And Absolute Zero.
Yeah. Well, that's Bleach. Anyway. So let's get started on the chapter proper here. We got Diamante versus Kyros, Robin, and Rebecca. And I remember before I was saying I wasn't sure if it's Kyros or Kyros. I actually watched the Japanese version of the episodes now of the anime, and they are saying Kyros, with more like a key sound. So that's what I'm going to be going with. Anyway, at this point, Robin is. I imagine this part you mentioned before. You might have a problem with it, but Robin is basically be playing interference for any attacks on Rebecca, while Kyros gets to focus on Diamante.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so I was listening to another podcast, the weekly manga podcast that I mentioned before, and they were talking about, and they agree with me, and so on our previous podcast too, unrelated of course, that they were really hyped about
Robin actually being in a fight.
Yeah. Because if you think about it, when has Robin been in a big fight as of late? Like an actual big fight? I mean
the last time I remember her in the actual one-on-one fight was back in Skypiea.
Exactly, and that's actually the example they used too. Skypiea with that fat dude.
Yeah.
The problem is in CP9 she was gone. She was kidnapped.
I mean that was her rescue arc, so yeah.
Yeah.
She was a Rukia and Orihime at that time, or even Nami and Vivi.
In Thriller Bark, it wasn't really. It doesn't really count. It wasn't a big deal.
She was there, and plus it was kind of a 2-on-2, her and Chopper.
And then the Fishman Island, it's actually that one was actually one that where the few instances where she was one of the few Straw Hats members who didn't actually fight that much. She beat a slaver, and that's it.
And then she did take a lot of the mook stuff, like a lot of the fodder.
Yeah, but fodder doesn't count. And Nico Robin, and this was a chance for her to actually beat a guy who's one of the executives. So we were really hyped up for that, and then it turns out that Nico Robin is just here to make sure that Rebecca doesn't get hurt. It's just kind of like, well, that's a big cop out. I mean, that's kind of it's really lame. Like the build off there's no good payoff in this situation here.
On the one hand, I don't mind it that much, just because this is Kyros' fight. I wish it would be Kyros and Rebecca, but at the very least, it's Kyros' fight. If anyone there should be taking down Diamante, it's him. he is the one who has every right, every reason to do so.
Yeah, but I think the issue is that I think what would have been great for his character development was that he's always beaten fights one-on-one. Like, he's the unstoppable, undefeated warrior. I think it would have been great if just for this one fight he would actually need help.
Right. And that might still come around. You never know. You know, the fight's still young.
Yeah. I mean, I just that all that build up about Bartolomeo protecting Robin, about her going up for like 5 chapters, just to make sure that Rebecca doesn't become, you know, basically the weak Kyros' weakness. Yeah, the weak link in the chain.
Yeah. Kind
of is just annoying me, and I really wanted some female representation here. And if I'm the one who's saying I want female representation, that's a big deal here.
Yeah.
Because I'm always about that. You know, I'm always careful about, you know, pushing too much into one gender, or maybe making it a sex gender type of situation.
Like overdoing it one direction or the other.
Yeah, but I really think that Nico Robin should get a big fight of her own, and Rebecca too. I mean, at least help out. I know Kyros is going to be probably the strongest of the bunch, but that doesn't mean they can't help out. And so having them just be on the defensive.
And one nice thing is that Oda does know the value of team battles. Like, most of the fights are one-on-one, but we have seen them like combine or mix up and team up. Like Oars, for example, or Kuma. Like, he knows how to do a team fight if he wants to do one.
Yeah, so it's just annoying that they're kind of like, it's just basically protecting Rebecca, who's the weak link, and she's just being all defensive. So all that hype and all that buildup is just for nothing.
Well, like I said, the fight's still young, so just kind of like with Krista and Astoria and Attack on Titan, I'm gonna wait and see just how this pans out before I make any big judgment call.
Well, I mean,
I would like to see Rebecca like do something before the fight's over, rather than just sit there. But
the only way that it's gonna happen is if Kyros is losing. If he's winning, then it wouldn't make any sense, because now he won't be attacking Rebecca because Nico Robin's in the way, and Nico Robin is not as defenseless as Rebecca is.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
And then like I said, that is possible. Like I said, at this point, that's not impossible.
Yeah, but at this point, it's just I expected more. Yeah.
So we move on now to the Tontata part of the battle.
Well, actually,
before Viola. Oh, okay.
Before that, there was that little some panels that.
That's right. That's right. Like Doflamingo guys were taking away Gladius for treatment. Bartolomeo's like against it first, but just decides not to. Just whatever, go do what you want.
Yeah, and you think that this kind of explains, you know, where all the bodies have been taken. Yeah. But at the same time, though, it is actually a reason for this little page right here, this little small page. Yeah. And we'll put that to the side for now. Now, going back to what you said about the Tontatas.
Yeah. Like, basically, they're checking in with Viola, pretty much like just giving him a status report. Page is not loading right here. Basically, they're pretty much just saying, like, hang on, you go ahead. My page isn't loading.
They're basically saying, you know, what has become Princess Mansherry? You know, we have won our battle in the factory, so what's going on? And then, so Viola is basically like, she's calling Leo, and then she, you know, right now he's racing towards to save Princess Mansherry, to the palace, and then she's basically telling him, you know, hurry up. And so she's basically relaying the message, you know, being the communicator between everyone.
Yeah, she's like missing control basically. Yeah. And she's telling them that they've got Mansherry, and Viola is trying to get her to use her power.
What is her power? Well, we'll find out this chapter.
Yeah, and actually, I'd generally forgotten Viola was still in part of the group. Last I remember, she was captured by the Straw Hats, but then I remembered that she got free, or at least came back during Law's fight with Doflamingo.
Yeah. So they go. So they're using what they say. We're taking the bullet chain. That brings back memories, man, from the sea train. That the one that just kept going. The rocket something.
Rocket Man.
Rocket Man. Yeah.
I was thinking about that earlier today, actually.
Yeah. So now we get to a panel of, you know, her basically saying, you know, listen to me, Dwarf Princess, in the timeout room, no less.
I still cannot think of these guys as dwarves.
Yeah.
I keep thinking more like something like gnomes.
Gnomes is no, they pretty much are gnomes, or little elves, you know.
Before we go too far on this, there's something I would like to draw your attention to. Do you remember when they first talked about Mansherry at the very beginning earlier in the arc, like when they first described her?
Barely. I mean,
basically, like I've got the English book in front of me right here. Leo telling Robin and Usopp about it's like, one of the Tontatas being held there is our despicable, selfish, mean-spirited, fickle, irritable, annoying Princess Mansherry. So we gotta hurry.
Oh yeah, I remember that. So
that does not really mess with what we're seeing right here, does it?
Well, I feel like there's something more to that.
Oh, there is. Like that's what I knows that'll come at the very, very end here. But that does not mess with what we're seeing right here, does it?
Yeah. So yeah.
She's in tears because she doesn't want to help the bad guys, and she's so adorable. Even the bad guys are gushing over.
Yeah, it's kind of funny actually. So what is this power that she has? Well, let's see. She has the power of the heal fruit, where she can heal people.
Yep.
And as it turns out, this is well, actually not yet. I'll tell you. Yeah. But you can see all these dead, not dead, all these unconscious bodies, all these, exactly some of these officers actually just just officers. Yeah.
Well, you see some of the fodder around them too.
Yeah,
in uniform.
Who cares?
But they're right in the center. Like you got Mach-Weiss, Sugar, Dellinger, and Lao G.
Yeah, but who cares about the fodder? The fodder.
Yeah.
They said this is the power that revives Sugar. So now this actually explains why Sugar was actually able to come back so quickly, and it literally ties in any small. I mean, that's a plot hole that we honestly would have let. I think I mentioned it, but maybe. I let it go.
I would have shrugged it off just figuring because she wouldn't actually hurt. She just knocked out unconscious. He was just woke up again.
Yeah, but everyone gets knocked out unconscious in One Piece, right?
Everyone. Right, but she was never actually physically hurt at any point. It actually makes me wonder about this, but go on.
But still, as it turns out, this explains any type of even minuscule plot hole, which is why I really love Oda. Everything just comes back together.
Yep.
Everything has a plan, and so you see all these defeated guys, and this was a problem because if she brings them back, it's pretty much just all going all over again, you know. And knowing Kubo, if Kubo were to do this, we all know what would happen.
Yeah.
But thankfully, Leo's on his way, so let's see what happens. So there's a watering can that apparently that the special magic water that she uses for special magic water or something like that.
That's how it's described anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, in the course of all this, Jola realizes there's another way to make this power work.
Well, before that, it turns out that I think the princess is refusing because she's realized that I guess they're against Riku. I don't know. Did she realize that at first, or was it?
But the Tontata, you can never tell. They're so gullible. It's like it takes a while for them to pick up on anything.
Yeah, but now they're actually like saying they're fighting back. She's like, I refuse to provide further aid for you people. She's so cute, adorable. Like they're noting that too.
Even the bad guys are like, aww.
Well, I mean, the blush marks kind of help out, and the crying, and she's so.
And then Yola pretty much tries to start forcing her to do it by like bending her and grabbing her, and in the process she starts crying, and some of her tears hit some of the fodder. See, they are important. Who gets up as if nothing had happened?
But here's the thing: she didn't know that they were from her tears, right? So did she think it was like her blood or something?
I don't know. Maybe it's just something she can like excrete, like sort of like how Treble and his snot or something, like, and then just goes in the watering can, and her tears are just an extension of that.
Well, yeah, because it never actually explains. I mean, it shows that tears work too, but but they also imply that there's another way to do it too.
We'll probably see some healing as we go along here, because in the aftermath and so on.
I was actually thinking of spit. Literally, I was thinking of that because of Nell.
There you go, and that might even be funny, just like this, because again, that wouldn't mess with what we've been seeing so far, but might go with her description.
Yeah, I'll be right. And so Leo comes. Yeah, well, Leo's starting to come in, and he's exploding stuff, and he's beating people down.
He's being the big damn hero.
Yeah, and so she's basically healed this one guy who was just literally knocked out because she basically trying to get him from not being distracted by the adorableness of the princess.
Yeah.
So nothing's changed.
Yeah, basically like Usopp's like Viola and them are explaining why Mansherry is so important and why Doflamingo is so keen to keep a hold of her.
Yeah.
And also, one thing I kind of note here is like it's kind of funny to note that Usopp and Sugar have apparently made themselves arch enemies. Like Usopp makes a point of asking if Sugar is included among the ones that could be revived, which makes sense because she is especially dangerous among them. But at the same time, it's like each time so far it's been Usopp and Sugar. It's like that they've practically become arch enemies at this point, like I said.
Yeah, I will say though, it's kind of sad to see Mansherry get hit so much, you know.
Yeah. I can already imagine the anime is going to be like dragging that out a little bit.
Yeah, probably. Horrible violence to make to. I feel this reminds me of I mean, it's kind of a cliche thing to have tears be the ones that heal people, but it kind of reminds me of Yukina from Yu Yu Hakusho, where they made her cry to make jewels.
Yeah, her ice tears.
Yeah, ice tears. But I mean, it's kind of interesting because let's face it, tears that heal people is extremely generic.
It is. But like I said, in this case, it's more like an unexpected side effect of her power more than anything else.
Yeah.
Now this next part is always very cool though, with Leo and them. Basically, like I said, Jola's pretty much got her crying. She's going to revive all the officers unless something happens soon, and something doesn't happen with Leo and Kabu, the other Tontata, who's like, he's got a beetle devil fruit, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Or
basically, like he runs in. Kabu pretty much like sends the officers flying so they can't get hit by the tears, and then Leo uses his own devil fruit, his sewing powers, to attach strings to all of them, and then attach strings to Jola, and pretty much bungee them into each other.
This is pretty awesome. Like, I remember, like, this for a guy who's like that small, this is awesome. And he just, this is awesome. Like, that last big ass panel is just amazing.
Yeah, and also I like his little line before, like, I think you all need some more time to be together, or more intimate time together.
Yeah. Okay, this is I kind of expected this to happen just because the way it was building up, but I mean the way Oda does it's just still enjoyable. Yeah. Where Leo's like, "Oh, Leo came to save me, just like a prince." And
then he catches her and completely screws up the mood by pointing out that she's gotten heavy. Cue punch to the face, and that is where the description starts to kick in when you think about it. Because remember, it's Leo who said all that, and then he does this.
Well, then again, he's probably. The fact that he's actually willing to say that in front of a girl kind of means that he probably thinks that because she always says shit about her and that she doesn't like it.
Basically, he brings a tune out of the dere.
Yeah. I mean, I bet that she's probably like that most of the time. Like that she's adorable, she's nice. It's just that Leo's the one always pissing her off.
Yeah. And also you got the Kabu on the side there. Some things never change. So yeah, that implies that does happen a lot.
But you know what would be interesting now? That this. They can actually help. They can resurrect the people, the good guys who've been knocked out,
like the giant and them.
The giant.
Turn the plan on themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, and then maybe by the end of the fights, we get basically Doflamingo facing off against everyone, and not even he can do that.
He probably a good fight though.
Yeah, but in the end, I think even Luffy and Law can handle him.
Yeah, and in the end, like I said, the last little thing there is that the Tontata Princess Mansherry rescue is successful.
Yep. So that's a nice ending note, and all's well that ends well. Well, not yet, but
yeah. But like I said, that's pretty much all the officers except for the executives and Senior Pink at this point.
Then they're probably not going to address that until like next.
Hang on, I'm looking at the comments now. Somewhere along the way, it mentions that I guess somewhere around the way you can see Senior Pink and Frankie fighting in the background somewhere.
Oh, okay.
You go and look at the comments. I'm going to back and see if I can find that real quick.
All right. Yeah, but I was speaking about that. Yeah, I was thinking that they're probably never going to actually finish that fight until after everyone. Like, even after Doflamingo's fight. Like, oh yeah, you guys. I think I mentioned this last podcast too. Like, oh, you guys. I remember you guys.
Yeah, like just after everything's done.
They'll be bromancing it up, basically.
Yeah, I could see them like becoming best pals or something under any other circumstances.
They'll be in a romantic relationship. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, everyone's saying they'll become friends for life. Oh yeah, so it's in this chapter. Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Go back to page 5.
Page 5, huh?
The status report.
Okay. Oh, wow, is that funny?
Well, I think it is.
Oh, let's see.
Mostly because it goes along with one of the comments, what I said, but you'll see when you get there.
Page 5.
Where it says inside the Smile Factory.
Oh, poo-roo-roo-roo-roo.
And right behind the Tontata on the second panel. Right there in the middle.
Oh, I see hearts.
Look between the hearts. You'll see Frankie.
Oh, is he hugging? Are they hugging?
No, Frankie's like, they're doing ballet.
Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, you're right.
Like the comment said, it's turned into a dance-off. God. Yeah.
Who thought Frankie would be the one to do this?
Well, if anyone would.
Yeah. But still, like, I mean, the guy who would walk in his underwear, well, yeah.
Versus the guy in the sumo diaper.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just cracking up at that. It's probably funnier than I have any right to find it, but I still like it.
Yeah. It's kind of hard. It's hard to find. Like, you wouldn't catch that. Holy shit!
And this is what we were saying earlier about making better use of page space.
I mean, we get right?
We get an update on the fight so quick you probably would even miss it, but it's there.
It's so much. There's so much happening that even we don't notice it. Unlike Bleach, where the background is literally just white.
I know. It's like I said. This is like I said. No surprise, but Oda knows how to use his pages. Like I said, there's a lot of detail, but at the same time, the art is simple enough that it doesn't really distract.
Yeah,
if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Like you know what and where everything is, and he uses that to hide little stuff in there from time to time. Like, it's been a while since I remember. Like I remember Arlong Park, the forums there. They would usually point out when there's a Panda Man sighting. I wonder if there's been where the last Panda Man was.
Oh yeah, they did talk about that. I heard about that. It's just late. Maybe I think there was one maybe some time ago. I don't know. But yeah, I wonder if he's gonna actually become a character, like an actual character.
Yeah. Also, another thing the comments point out is like during that scene, like there's explosions and everything going on behind him, and they're just casually talking on the phone.
Yeah. It's a fun. I mean, I did have issues with it, but only initially, and yeah. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't the perfect chapter, but it was an enjoyable chapter nonetheless. And of course, hopefully, Robin does get into the mix more.
Yeah, like I said, well, I don't know hold off any series judgment on that until we see how the fight turns out, because I do think Kyros will be the big hitter here, because I think he's the one who has the most stake in taking down Diamante.
But keep in mind that he's at a disadvantage. The fact that Diamante can like shake the ground,
right.
It's gonna be an issue for his his one leg. I mean,
right.
Kyros is not. He's not, he's not that powerful. I mean, he's not like Shichibukai level.
I said, if anybody should take it on Diamante, it will either be Kyros or Kyros and Rebecca.
Yeah.
Rebecca on her own is a long shot, but possible. But it's more of a long shot.
Or Rebecca and Robin, or I want to get Robin in the mix somewhere. Just at least for maybe obviously not the finishing blow, but just to help out. And that's fine too. So. Is that it? Or?
Like I said, we got ourselves here. I'm just kind of scrolling down some of the comments here. But like most of it's just like stuff with Frankie and Junior Pink. Like they'll be, like you said, they'll be bros for life.
Yeah. I think we all saw it coming.
Also, they point out like, oh, I just realized like one of them points out like Senior Pink is doing like synchronized swimming, like the way he's upside down, his legs are positioned. I just remember that's his fruit. So of course he'd be doing that.
Yeah. So. Why is he part of this group again? I wonder what Doflamingo saw on him.
Well, it's not like he's not exactly weak.
I know.
Like, what did he see in Doflamingo? Probably more accurate.
That's true.
Remember, Corazon said the executives, the higher ups, know what he's really like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's an officer. He's not an executive, though.
Well, same difference in this case. Like he's the inner circle.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's true. I mean, inner circle, but not. I wouldn't say true inner circle. Like the thing about the executives is that they were with Doflamingo since childhood. Like Treble was there. I think even Diamante was there. And Virgo was there. Virgo was there too.
Yeah, Virgo.
They were all,
sure.
Yeah. They were all there in his childhood. Everyone else was not. And I think the difference between the executives and the officers is that the executives actually influenced Doflamingo to become what he's now today,
Right.
Whereas the officers are just powerful people who Doflamingo trusts as a family, but aren't like his equals, like at least close to his level as he sees Diamante and Treble and all that. So I'm gonna say that like
I said, they're very, very close, even if they're not exactly there, though.
I'm not gonna, I think like Baby 5 and whoever the other guy was,
Buffalo.
Oh, it'd be so. Yeah, Buffalo. I think like those type of guys they were so young, and I think they were kind of brainwashed into joining, especially with Baby 5's personality disorder.
Yeah.
I think the thing is the officers probably think they know Doflamingo, but the executives are the only ones who truly know. I mean, all of them know he's cruel when it comes down to it, but I think only the executives really know what he's been through.
But at the same time, you also have like Jola and Lao Ji, who are like much older. They would be at least aware, you would think.
Well, they probably didn't meet up with Doflamingo until later, though. That's the thing. Well,
like I said, at the very least, like I said, even if they're not like inner circle, they're still very close to Doflamingo.
Yeah,
so there's no question about that.
Yeah, well, there's no question about that. I just think that the executives are the only ones who actually understand that this guy's a psychopath. like a true psychopath, not just a guy who has to be be ugly in an ugly world, something like that.
Right.
You mentioned Corazon again.
Well, I said, I mean, I know he's your favorite now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Alright, so I think we got ourselves covered here. Was there anything else about the One Piece chapter you want to go over?
No, I think that's about it.
In that case, I think we're all set to go here. Yeah, you guys have a good rest of your day. I hope you enjoyed listening to us gush about One Piece, and have a good week.
Well, I won't say gushing, but they're similar.
Well, you mentioned Corazon, so I got some gushing out of you.
Okay. Yeah. Bye!